I saw my 12-year-old son punch his classmate in the face. There was no warning. No shouting. Just a strong, angry blow that sent the other boy to the ground. The worst part. He didn't look sorry. He looked proud. Just like his father used to. I was called to school on a Thursday afternoon. The call came in just after 2 p.m. I was at work, sorting files on my desk, when my phone rang. The voice on the line was calm but firm. "Mrs. Noji, your son Kelechi was involved in a fight. We need you to come in." My heart sank. I asked what happened, but the teacher didn't say much. She just told me to come quickly. When I got to the school, I found Kelechi sitting outside the principal's office. His shirt was dirty. His right fist had a small cut. His face was still tense. "What happened?" I asked, kneeling in front of him. He looked away. He called me names, he mumbled. "Who?" "Bolu." He said Dad is in prison. He laughed. I sighed. The name of his father still followed us. Even after I moved to a different part of the city, changed schools, and tried to build a new life. But that wasn't an excuse. You can't hit people, Kelechi. That's not how we solve problems. He looked me in the eye. That's how Dad solved them. I felt my stomach turn. I stood up and walked into the principal's office. Kelechi's father, Emeka, had been violent. Not just once or twice. It was who he was. He hit me during arguments. He broke things when he was angry. He once smashed a glass cup against the wall because I asked him to lower the TV volume. It didn't start that way, of course. When we met, he was charming. He used to buy me small gifts, call me every day, and tell me how special I was. I believed him. But after we got married, things changed. Slowly at first. Then suddenly. He began shouting. Then slapping. Then full-blown beatings. The police came to our house twice. The neighbors knew. But I stayed for Kelechi. I thought a child needed both parents. I was wrong. The night he beat me so badly I couldn't walk properly for 3 days, I packed my things and ran. Kelechi was 6 then. I didn't press charges that time. But 2 years later, Emeka was arrested for assaulting a man at a bar. It wasn't just a fight. He nearly killed him. Now he was serving a 5-year sentence. And here I was, watching my son act just like him. After the fight at school, I decided to take Kelechi to a counselor. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want him to grow into the same kind of man his father was. We met with a woman named Mrs. Dogo. She was kind and patient. She had a small office near the school. At first, Kelechi refused to talk. He sat with his arms crossed and stared at the wall. But over time, he opened up. He told her about the anger he felt when kids talked about his dad. He said he felt like everyone expected him to be bad. Like they already saw him as trouble. "I just want them to shut up," he said. Mrs. Dogo asked him what else he felt. He said he didn't know. He said he got so mad sometimes, his hands shook. I listened quietly. I was glad he was talking. But inside, I was scared. Scared that his father's blood ran too strong. One night, a few weeks later, I heard a loud noise in the living room. It was past 11 p.m. I rushed out and found Kelechi standing in front of the TV. The remote was broken on the floor. The screen was cracked. "What happened?" I asked, shocked. "I was playing a game and it froze," he shouted. I got mad, okay. I took a deep breath. "You broke the TV, Kelechi." "I didn't mean to," he yelled. "Yes, you did," I said softly. "You threw the remote. You meant it." He stared at me, breathing hard. "I can't help it," he shouted again. I feel it. The anger. I can't stop it. I walked over and hugged him tightly. He didn't hug back at first. But after a while, he cried. And cried. His body shook. I didn't say anything. I just held him. The next day, I called my older brother, Uncle Nonso. He was the only man I trusted around Kelechi. He used to take him fishing when he was younger. They were close before we moved. When I explained what happened, he said, "Bring him to me this weekend. Let him spend some time here." On Saturday, we packed a small bag and took a bus to Uncle Nonso's place. He lived in a quiet area just outside town. His compound was clean and peaceful. Kelechi didn't smile much during the trip. But when he saw Uncle Nonso, something changed. His shoulders relaxed. He hugged him tight. They spent the afternoon fixing a broken bench in the backyard. Kelechi asked questions, and Nonso answered everyone with patience. They laughed once, something I hadn't heard in a while. That night, Kelechi slept peacefully. No tossing. No talking in his sleep. Just quiet. I watched him and prayed that maybe this visit would help. The next morning, I woke up early. I found Uncle Nonso sitting on the porch, drinking tea. I joined him. "I need to ask you something," I said. "Go ahead." "Do you think Kelechi will turn out like his father?" He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "No. Not if you keep doing what you're doing. Not if he keeps getting help. But he needs strong men around him, real men. Not violent ones. Not loud ones. Men who think first before they act." I nodded. "He's still a child, Amora," he said. "His bones are soft. They can be shaped." His words stayed with me. Later that afternoon, Kelechi told me something. "Mom, do you think I'll end up like Dad?" I didn't answer quickly. I knelt in front of him. "You're not your father," I said. "You have his blood, yes. But you also have your own mind. You can choose a different way." He didn't say anything back. But he hugged me tightly. 3 weeks later, just as things were beginning to feel calm, I got another call from school. This time, it wasn't a fight. It was worse. Kelechi had threatened the teacher. He didn't hit anyone, but he had shouted and thrown a chair when he was scolded for not doing his homework. When I arrived, he was sitting alone again. Arms crossed. Jaw tight. "Kelechi," I said. "She shouted at me," he said. "She's your teacher. She embarrassed me in front of the class." His eyes were full of fire again. We rode home in silence. At home, I sat him down. "I need you to listen to me. I'm your mother, not your enemy. I know you're angry. I know you feel like no one understands. But this path you're taking, it's dangerous." He looked down. "What if I can't change?" he whispered. I reached for his hand. "Then we'll keep trying. Every day." That night, I gave Kelechi a notebook and a pen. "Write a letter to your dad," I told him. "Why?" "Write whatever you want. Say anything. No one will read it unless you want them to." He frowned but took the notebook. The next morning, I found the notebook under his pillow. The first page read, "Dear Dad, I don't know why you're like this. I don't know if you were always angry. I don't know why you hit Mom. I hate what you did. But sometimes I feel like you. I get mad fast. I want to throw things. I want to hurt people. I want to stop. I just don't know how." I cried when I read it. He was trying. That was all I needed for now. A few days later, something small happened, but it mattered. Kelechi came home with a note from his teacher. It said, "Kelechi handled the disagreement well today. Another boy pushed him. Kelechi walked away. I stared at the note for a long time. I showed it to him. He shrugged. Didn't feel like fighting. I hugged him tightly. Small steps. But steps forward. 1 month later, Emeka wrote a letter from prison. It was short. Tell Kelechi I miss him. If he wants to see me, I'll be here. I didn't want to go. But I showed Kelechi the letter. He read it twice. I want to see him, he said. I paused. Are you sure? He nodded. I want to ask him something. We took the long ride to the prison the following weekend. Inside, we sat across from Emeka. He looked older. Thinner. His eyes were tired. Kelechi didn't smile. He didn't hug him. He asked, "Why did you hit Mom?" Emeka didn't answer at first. Then he said, "Because I was weak." Kelechi frowned. "I don't want to be like you." Emeka nodded slowly. "Then don't be." That was it. We left. After the prison visit, Kelechi was quiet for days. He didn't eat much. He didn't talk much. He didn't even play his video games. I was worried. I called Mrs. Dogo again. This time, she suggested I join the session. We sat on the soft couch. Kelechi leaned back with his arms crossed. I sat beside him. Mrs. Dogo looked at both of us. "How did the visit go?" Kelechi looked down. He looked like a stranger. I thought seeing him would help. It didn't. "What did you want from the visit?" she asked gently. Kelechi's voice was low. I wanted him to say sorry. Not just for hitting Mom. For leaving. For making people laugh at me. I put my hand on his shoulder. "I hate that he's my dad," he whispered. Mrs. Dogo nodded. "You don't have to like him. But you're not him. You're you. You can write your own story." Kelechi didn't speak, but he didn't argue either. Something changed a few weeks later. Kelechi made a new friend at school. His name was Sadiq. He was quiet too. They sat next to each other in science class. One day, Kelechi came home smiling. "What happened?" I asked. "Sadiq's dad left too," he said. He said sometimes he gets angry too. But he draws. He draws when he's mad. That evening, Kelechi asked if he could buy a sketch pad. We went to the store and got him a small one, with pencils. He started drawing every night. He didn't show me at first. But I picked when he left it on the table. There were pictures of fists, eyes with tears, dark clouds, but also suns, trees, a small boy standing alone on a hill. I didn't say anything. But I kept buying him more pencils. In December, I caught the flu. It hit me hard. Fever, cough, body pain. I couldn't move from bed for 2 days. Kelechi didn't panic. He brought me water. He cooked noodles. He even swept the house. On the 3rd day, I woke up and found a hot towel on my forehead. Kelechi was sitting beside me with a book. "I'm reading to keep quiet," he said. "Didn't want to wake you." My eyes filled with tears. "You're growing up," I whispered. He smiled. "I'm trying." Just when I thought we were making progress, I got a call from another parent. Their son, Femi, said Kelechi threatened him during break time. I called Kelechi. "Is it true?" He didn't answer. "Kelechi, I need the truth." He stared at the floor. He said, "You're weak. That dad left because of you." I sat down. I felt that old pain again. But I pushed it aside. "So you threatened him?" I said I'd break his nose. I sighed. "We talked about this. You can feel angry. But you don't act on it." "I know," he shouted. "But people don't stop. I lowered my voice. Then prove them wrong. Be better. He stormed into his room. That night, he slipped a note under my door. It read, "I'm sorry, Mom. I don't want to be a problem. I just don't know how to forget everything. But I love you." I held that note to my chest for a long time. One day, a social worker came to school to talk to some students for a small documentary. They were asking children about how they deal with emotions and family stress. Kelechi was chosen. I was nervous. When the video came out, I sat in front of the TV, holding my breath. Kelechi said, "Sometimes I get really angry. But I draw now. And I talk to my mom. I didn't used to. But she listens. That helps." The host asked, "Do you think you're different from your father?" Kelechi looked straight at the camera. "Yes. Because I want to be." I cried through the whole thing. One night, while Kelechi was asleep, I sat at the kitchen table and wrote him a letter. "Dear Kelechi, I know life hasn't been easy for you. I know you carry a lot inside. But I see you. I see how hard you're trying. I'm proud of you. You are not your father. You are strong. You are kind. You are learning. I will always be here, no matter how hard it gets. Love. Mom." I placed the letter in his backpack. The next morning, he didn't say anything. But when I got back from work, I saw he had pinned the letter to his wall. He never took it down. One day in JSS 3, a boy bumped into Kelechi at the gate. The boy laughed and said something rude. Kelechi clenched his fist. But he turned and walked away. His teacher saw it. She called me. "I just wanted to say well done," she said. "He's changing." When I asked Kelechi why he didn't hit the boy, he shrugged. "Didn't feel like wasting energy." I smiled. "That's strength, not weakness." He smiled back. 2 years later, Emeka was released. He sent a message through his sister. He wanted to see Kelechi. Kelechi was 15 now. He was taller. His voice had deepened. He had grown. "I'll go," he said. "But just to talk. Nothing more." I drove him there but waited outside. When he came out, he said he apologized for everything. And I told him I forgive him. But I won't be like him. That night, he slept peacefully. When Kelechi turned 16, his school hosted an art exhibition. He submitted 5 drawings. One was titled, "Breaking the Chain." It showed a boy standing between 2 shadows, one with fists, one with open hands. People clapped. He got a small certificate. I framed it. When we got home, he said, "I think I want to be an art teacher someday. Help other kids talk without shouting." I hugged him. "You'll be amazing." Now Kelechi is 18. He's calm. He's kind. He still gets angry sometimes, but he knows what to do. He draws. He walks away. He breathes. Sometimes people still say, he looks like his dad. But I smile. Because I know the truth. Yes, he looks like him. But he is not him. He chose his own path. He broke the chain. And that's what makes him my son. Not like his father. Better than him.